So yeah, hello everyone, today I'm back with another custom video, and I decided to get back into making customs, especially since these customs are easy. And yeah, also before I show the customs, one thing I should mention is that some of these customs are, these customs I'm going to show here originally weren't going to be the next video. The next set of customs that I show, they were going to be different characters, but I figured since I made them, I figured why not show them now. And yeah, so yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the actual Thomas characters, and yeah, and there's only one for this video. Yeah, here it is. And this custom is a troublesome van. Since I made two other old Trekmaster troublesome vans, and now this is the third one. And yeah, that's basically pretty much simply that. Yeah. Also, originally this character was gonna be the ULP van, but I do plan to make him eventually. But yeah. But since I plan on making a lot of easy customs, I figured that I'd make him an easy custom, and yeah, that's basically for that. So yeah, moving on. Next up is just basically a custom scrap car. I figured I'd include this with the actual Thomas characters, since the actual show they have like scrap yards and stuff. So it's basically my Snowy Spencer tender, which is kind of broken and they can't really go well. So that's why I decided to make it a scrap tender, and I just basically put the word scrap on both sides. I mean, I can still use it. I can still use it, of course. Just doesn't go properly as well as it should. Anyways, moving on. Next up, here are other people's OCs, and I'll go in a random order. So yeah, first up is Carter here. This is Carter. Of course, as I just mentioned, that these are other people's OCs, and so he's not one of mine. And also I forgot who made him, like who came up with him. If I do, I'll probably say. But yeah, well, for the time being, I can't really remember. But yeah, also one thing I do know is that the person that made Carter, he used a Trekmaster 2 mail van. But since all my Trekmaster 2 mail vans I plan to use for Percy and my series and stuff, and yeah, that's why I decided not to use any of them and to just use this car instead. Since I have another car like it, which you'll probably see in another video and another custom. So yeah, like I said, so I just decided to go with that car. And moving on, next up is this character, which is Rolly. And if you remember Rolly from Paul's vids, I basically used my extra Clarabelle that I have. Since a lot of extras I plan to make for customs. She was one of them, so I decided to make her into Rolly. I just basically put Rolly's I tried to put Rolly's sad face or like a normal facial expression he normally has. And yeah, also I covered up Clarabelle's name on both sides. And yeah, that's basically it for that one. And next up is Timothy the Ghost Engine. Now this is actually my version of Timothy the Ghost Engine. Like, if he was streamlined, that's basically what I'm trying to get at. Since originally in the past when I made a custom Timothy the Ghost Engine, I wanted to make a simple one, so I just used this exact Spencer and made him look like Timothy. And surprisingly, I did it. And surprisingly, it was alright. It turned out well. And that's what I thought it would. And I think it turned out well again for years later. And yeah, like I said, so this is basically Snowy Spencer. Now of course I already showed Snowy Spencer's tender. That was the one I made the scrap tender out of. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, just keep in mind that that's my version of Timothy the Ghost Engine. So yeah, and that's the Timothy the Ghost Engine that I'll use for things when I decide to put them in. Anyways, moving on. The final character that is in mine is Blimpy. Blimpy is from one of my favorite Minecraft YouTubers. He's basically a character that I've seen in one video, or I think a few videos I've seen, and I thought that when I make him a Thomas character, so I use my Tommy Spencer here, and as you can see, he doesn't go obviously, but that doesn't matter to me since I can still use him. So I covered up Spencer's name on both sides here, and of course like I said, I don't know if you can tell, but I can kind of see his name there. Actually, no, I can't. Sorry, I thought I could for a second, and of course I gave him a different face. But yeah, moving on. Now, lastly, here the final characters I'll show in this video are two of my OCs. And starting off with this one, here is my OC. Here, let me get his number in the frame. It's my OC 31. Now, 31 is one of those characters that has that their name is their number is their name. So originally I planned to make him blue, but since I decided that I'm making easy customs, I figured why don't I make him now? So this is basically him in a red livery. But if I ever do get actual paints and stuff, I'll see about painting him blue. And yeah, and he's just, well, if you see the hay decals on him, I made him out of my hay James, the hay covered James that I have. And yeah, finally, lastly, let me just move these back some. The final character I'll show here is another custom. It was another one of my OCs, and as you can tell, his name is Elon. That's I made him out of my extra celebration Nia. If you look right there, you can kind of see Nia's eye there somewhat. But yeah, so I just basically gave him a different face, as you can tell. I covered up her number, and I gave him his nameplate. So yeah, like I said, so it's basically my OC Elon, and yeah, like I said, and just a little heads up, if I ever do a round 2 of my OC's themes, I will I'll most likely include 31 and Elon if I do a round 2 of my OC's themes, which I have that idea in mind, but I don't know when or if I'll do that or not. But that's basically it for this custom video. Now, next few custom videos. Now, I plan to make more custom videos. Now, you guys may, and now one thing I should mention is that you guys may either like or not like these customs, but hey, we all have our own opinion, and yeah, that's basically, I just figured I should mention that. But yeah, anyways, yeah. Thanks for watching, and bye everyone. Bye.